Na, már megy, szerintem. Ja, már megy, szerintem. Na, már megint ja. Faszom. Jó, most jó lesz. Mehet. Igazából menni fog. Kezdjük. Nagyon izgi.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley read every moment that the orders came as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Remélem nem fog akadozni, mert előbb akadozott. Nem? De. Itt igazából a történet lesz a lényeg. Jó. Szóval itt talán annyira nem lesz uncsi, mint ez előbb volt.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Akkor fasza. Igazából akkor elmondjam.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Itt szerintem nem fogok tudni sokat beszélni, mert ez a pali folyamat bele fog szólni abba, amit mondok. És mindenki eltűnt a munkahelyünkről, és meg kell keresni, hogy mi a probléma. Oké, majd beleszólok én is. Nézd, Bence, ezt neked küldöm. Nem tudok oda bemenni. Csak oda tudok bemenni, ami nyitva van.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Most mondjuk, vagy most csináljuk azt, amit mond, vagy ne csináljuk azt, amit mond. Jobbra megy. De amúgy ennek nagyon sok vége van, és szeretném az összeset kijátszani. Szóval igazából föl kéne írni, hogy miket csináltunk. Hogy legközelebb ne ugyanazt csináljuk.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Akkor csináljuk azt, hogy először mindig más csinálunk, mint amit mond.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Igazából nincs itt semmi, meg sehol sincs semmi, csak menni kell előre.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Menjünk egyenesen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Mit nézzek be? Mondom, azt csináljuk, hogy először mindig az ellentétét csináljuk, mint amit mond. Aztán a kövibe meg nagy nem tudom, mit csinálunk. Most már mindegy. Jó. De miért lenne buzi is?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Érzésre kell.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Jézusom, leestem.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Hoppá.
Good job,
Nem
Stanley.
tudtam, hogy le
Everyone
lehet
thinks you are
esni.
very powerful.
Hops. Az fasza. Beakadt a kamera. Ja, a kajakba akadt. Jó. De most mit csináljak? Kilépek belőle és visszalépek. Úgy talán jó lesz. Nem lett jó. De és a lehető legjobb képbe akadt meg. Ez tuti azért van, mert szerencsétlen telefonom mindjárt felrobban. De most mit csinál? Jó, most fasza. Kiléptem, meg visszaléptem. Ez egy profi stream, gyerekek. Azt csináltam, igen. Folytassuk. Mondom, folytassuk. Majd nem tudtam. Jó, igen, ez már volt. Nem tudtam, hogy
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
nem
Perhaps he had
tudtam, hogy
simply
le
missed a
lehet
memo.
ott esni.
When
Igen,
Stanley
itt
came to
jobbra
a set of
megyünk.
two open doors, this was not the correct way to the
Awesome.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Grandma.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
És ezt minden egyes alkalommal végig
Yes,
kell majd
this
vinni.
room. What a
Mászkálni.
beautiful room. What a
Most már
gorgeous,
ezt is
gorgeous.
tudjuk.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Akkor se arra megyek. Akkor se balra
Stanley was so
megyek.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Jó, hogy itt van, hogy ne ugorj le. Hát... Igen.
Look,
nem
Stanley, I
olvastuk
think
el.
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Pedig
I'm
még
not
oda
your
is
enemy,
mentem
really, I'm
megnézni.
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Milyen nő? A nő miatt.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Jó, álljál le, ember. Igazából itt csak egy fel lehet, hogy nagyon sötét van. Jaj, de megijedtem,
That's her,
basszus.
Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone
Felvegyem, vagy ne vegyem föl? Nem tudom kihúzni. Na, fölvegyem, vagy ne vegyem föl? Vedd. Jó, fölveszem. Most mi történt?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Jézusom.
Gotcha!
Ez anyjuk para.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Ja, valami csicska. Ez a csicska.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Csoda. Se nem nyomom meg. Nem tudok kimenni. De nem akartam.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Nagyon kedves ez az ember, amúgy.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Ez tényleg egy buzi.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
De basszus, befoghatnál már tényleg, mert már unom.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Jó, hogy valami történt. Mi történt? Azt bekövetett valaki. Kályha. Igen, valami kályha. Nem tudtam elolvasni. Úristen, az első követő. Köszönöm szépen a követést. Nagyon cuki vagy. Ez egy fordulópont az életemben.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
De cuki nem tudja még, hogy élete legnagyobb hibáját követte el ezzel, hogy bekövetett. Ezen a csatornán semmi izgi nem lesz. Nyomjam meg. Jó, megnyomom.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Jó, ezt is megnyom. Vagy ne, vagy nyomjam meg, vagy ne nyomjam meg. Megnyomom.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Most mi? Most meghaltam? Most mi történt? Ennyi volt. Szerintem ez egy ending lehetett. Tehát nem tudom.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Nem követ senki. Meghalt? Hát amúgy lehet, hogy meghaltam. Hányan néznek? Remélem a kályha még itt van.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
4. Most mára menjünk. Balra, jó. Tuti a kályha a 3. Amúgy lehet már ki is követett. Remélem nem követtél ki.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ez nagyon durva, hogy bekövetett valaki, meg mindig itt vagyok leakadva. Értem.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Menjünk a főnökhöz. A főnökhöz akarok menni. Szerintem itt a főnök.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2,
But of
8,
course,
4, 5.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Megjött anya. Remélem nem felejtette,
Stanley
hogy
just sat
nem jöhet
around
be.
twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Anya.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Elfelejtette. Most mi történt? Ja, itt kinyílt ez az ajtó. Tudtam, hogy el fogja felejteni. Ilyet tuti csak a kezdők csinálnak. Nem rájött, hogy valami baj van.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Jó.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Menekülés. Mondtam neki, hogy ha bejön, akkor élőadásban fent lesz. De azt mondta, hogy akkor nem jön be. De hát most merre menjünk? Menj egyenesen, jó. Jön.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Persze, hogy van. Kamerák. Nézzük meg a kamerákat.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ez mondjuk para. Hol vagyunk mi? 4:27. Ott vagyunk. Ott van az irodánk. És most mit kéne csinálnom? Ja, erre kell menni.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Úgy nekem tetszik ez a játék. Valóban fura.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Igen. Itt szerelem. Aztán hogyan? Ide fel kell menni. Négy. Ez rohadtul nem csinál semmit, szóval nem ide kellett jönni. Na. Mit kell? Most szét kell szerelni azt az egészet. Valamit szét kell szerelni, de nem tudom mit. Valószínűleg erre kell jönni. Ja. Véget kell vetni ennek az egésznek.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Akkor kapcsoljuk ki. Vagy ne? Önök folytassuk ezt az endinget. Akkor kikapcsolom. Na.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine!
Győztünk.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Hát az a játék sokkal
Perhaps his
könnyebb,
goal
mint a
had not been
másik.
to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
De nem tudok átlépni. Ez tuti csak egy kép. Nem.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ez egy jó ending volt. És most újra. De várj, most nem is ugyanaz van. Figyeld már.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Én se számítottam rá, azt hittem, hogy valami izé lesz. Menjünk megint balra. Aztán majd mást fogunk változtatni. Úgy tök faszák.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Akkor menjünk lefelé most.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Jézusom.
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he
Ugyanott
went?
vagyunk.
And for that
Mint
matter,
előbb.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No,
Igen,
Stanley said to
valószínű.
himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
Az
what a
ember
relief Stanley
meg van
felt to have
bolondulva.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life
Mennyit
job
tud ez
pushing
dumálni?
buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the
Jézusom,
ground.
lebegek.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was
Ez
so
mondjuk
much
menő.
fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the
Na, most
voice was
más
describing
vagyunk,
itself
vagy
being
nem?
considered by Stanley, who found
Ja,
it
nem.
particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these
Isten
words was
mennyit
quite a
tud
shock to
beszélni ez az
Stanley.
ember.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in
Tudnám, miről
control,
beszél.
that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he
Visszafel nem
invited
tudok menni,
himself to
mert
wake up. He
becsukódnak
felt the
mögöttem az
cool weight of the
ajtók.
blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my
Nem úgy
life
volt, hogy nincs
exactly the way
feleségünk.
it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Azt hiszem elaludtunk. És fölkeltünk ugyanígy.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Rohadt.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment,
De ez
she
volt a
thought to herself
legrosszabb.
how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Majdnem
It was
megsüketültem.
comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career,
Nem
and by
csodálom, hogy
extension, the rest of
megbolondult.
her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a
Től a
moment
hangtól én
that
is
she stood there,
megbolondultam
staring
volna.
down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Nagyon beteg ez a játék. És most valószínűleg megint újra kezdődik az egész. Hát nyilván.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Menjünk itt le. És menjünk egyenesen, vagy menjünk le? Szerintem menjünk le. És mi? Jó. Aha.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
De itt nem lehet másfele menni. Vagy de? Visszafele? Nem. Itt sajnos követünk.
Oh, no.
Jaj.
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Beszartam.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Szopat minket ez a pali.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Király. Egy fagyis kocsi.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
Jó helyen vagyunk, ez a lényeg.
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Hát ez nagyon fasza. Ennyi volt.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nagyon vicces. Komolyan. Nevettek.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Nagyon sok ajtó van.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Őt, vagy ő szopat minket.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Meg kell keresni a történetet. Menjünk erre. Mondjuk. Ez egy labirintus az egész. Szerintem...
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again. But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Jaj. Hát nem kellett mindig balra mennem, mert újraindította megint. Szerintem megint nem lesz.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Most meg már egy
Okay,
ajtó sincs.
it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Jó, menjünk vissza. Ott kihagytunk egy ajtót.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Remek, most menjünk körbe-körbe.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Megőrít minket ez a pali. Jó. Ez nem néz ki valami biztatóan.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yeah,
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Köszi.
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Ez egy buzi. Hát, igen.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Arra még nem voltunk.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself?
Hang on.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
Ez
Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Hát kéne zene, de nem ilyen. Minden hangos. Vagy csak nekem az. Nagyon jó a zene.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Most már mindegy.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Most merre menjek?
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
És visszatértünk megint ide.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Isten, ez eddig a leghosszabb
You know
ending.
what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Menjünk.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want
De jó,
our
már
story to
megint körbe
be?
mehetek.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
De abban nem tudunk
Oh,
bemenni.
no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Nem lehet.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Bárcsak
And since
tudnám,
the
miről
answer is clearly
beszél.
yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Akkor most már csak erre tudok menni?
Oh, hold up, what's
Zavaros
this?
befejezés.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's
Értem.
really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer
Új.
stopped?
Történt.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if
Vége. Rájön, hogy vége van a zavaros befejezésnek már.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
Mert
had
ez
simply
már
missed a
kicsit
memo.
durva volt. De szerintem amúgy vége van.
When Stanley
Na
came
most
to a
merre
set of two
menjünk?
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Jobbra. Tehát arra már nem lehetett másra.
This was not
mondjuk,
the correct
de
way to the meeting room, and Stanley
egy
knew
fele
it perfectly
tudtunk
well.
menni.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Hol
just to
maradja?
admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
De ott nem tudtam maradni. De nem tudtam ott maradni. Vagy most kövessük
And
innen
so he
az utat.
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the
Hát
opposite
mert
door,
akkor nem
and got back
történik
on track.
semmi. Nem csak ott állok. 10 percig is állhattam volna ott.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
Most
there.
menjünk a főnihez. Aztán
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
ott tuti
upstairs
lehet
to
még
his
mást is
boss's office.
csinálni. Ide be lehet jönni. Értem. Nem lehet vécézni? Véletlen. Nem lehet. Ide be lehet. Be hát. Itt van egy lift. Én lefelé. Menjünk. Lefelé vagy fölfele? Fel. Jaj, a liftes zene. De jó. Ki vagyok a liftes zenétől. Itt van valami. Mi ez? Nem tudom felvenni. Na, álljál már le. Köszönöm. Hé, most ugyanott vagyok. Szivatsz? Halló, nem mentünk sehova. Össze-vissza nyomogatom. Mintha egyre jobban mozogna ez a lift, nem? Vagy csak én látom, hogy remeg. Nem történik semmi konkrétan. Nem már. Komolyan. Már hányan néznek? De magyarok közül? Magyarok közül 9-en streamelik ezt a játékot. Na álljál már le! Szerintem beakadt a játék. Most mit kéne csinálnom? Szerintem konkrétan beakadt. Addig beszélgessünk. Így hárman. Ki lehet a negyedik, vagy a harmadik? De nem már kikövetett az csávó. Nem már. Ez szomorú. Most már látom, hogy hányan néznek. Pedig a kályha kikövetett, amúgy szerintem beakadt a játék. Konkrétan beakadt. De közben meg hallom, hogy beszél a csávó. Hát ez beakadt. Hát a gyerekek újra kellett kezdeni,
All of
mert
his
beakadt a
co-workers were gone.
játék.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to
Hát
go
ez
to the meeting
szomorú.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Most nem látom, hogy írnak. Vagy hogy írsz. Most már csak 3-an nézik, de jó.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
De
just
nincs
to
meg a
admire it.
Minecraft.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had
Akkor
never
itt
known
maradok,
before.
jó?
Was it this room? A
Játszok valami
connection between the
mással.
two? Could a man
De már a
love a
mesteremcé
room?
sincs
I
meg.
mean,
Tudod?
truly, deeply, madly love.
Igen. Jó ez.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that
És már
even though
megint
all
négyen
your
nézünk.
co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Megnézzük a festményeket.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Úgy lehet ilyen általános
Stanley sat around waiting for
csevegést
more
kéne.
dialogue, but when a long time
csinálni.
had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Mert általában azt is sokan szokták nézni, mondjuk nem tudom mennyire szeretném, hogy sokan nézzenek. Már még elég... hát meg elég kezdő vagyok. Szerintem itt ennyi volt ebbe a szobába, itt más nem lehet csinálni. Csak mondott pár dolgot még. Hát jó, kell. De ketten is lehet beszélgetni
But at last,
igazából.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on
Tovább
his left
mentem.
to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
jó, de-
hoping he might find an answer there.
Még senki nem írna nekem szerintem.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
Írjunk bele a
Stanley couldn't
kódot.
possibly have known this.
Lehet azt kéne. Pia. Lehet, hogy most piát kellett volna.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad. 2845.
De lesz arra, hogy mást írok be.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
Isten.
And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Na már. Szivat. Nagyon jó fej.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Erre
Mind
még nem
Control
mentünk,
Facility.
menjünk erre.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent
Erőszakos
death.
halál fog minket érni.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nem szeretnék
At
erőszakosan
this point,
halál
Stanley was
által
making a
meghalni.
conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ennyi. És komoly. Ez ennyi volt. Ja, nem. Akkor jó.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Értem.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know
Hát
the
ki
real
nem tudok
story,
menni.
trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Ugye, meg fogunk halni.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Hát mégse haltunk meg.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Aha, értem. Itt jöttünk. Itt van az a pár kép, ami mindenhol ott van. Ez egy múzeum. Értem. Na, itt vannak a készítők. Merre menjünk? Ez... Fogalmam sincs, hogy mi ez. Ez egy múzeum. Balra. Ez rohadt nagy. Hát ez szerintem az ilyen fő ending, amúgy. De már el is tévedtem. Ilyen meg nem is volt a játékban. Ez ilyen összefoglaló. Itt van az összes befejezés, meg minden. Ez mondjuk para. Eddig ezt tetszik a legjobban. Ja, itt az eleje. Innen indultunk. Itt beszélt valaki megint. Ez cuki, csak nem tudom merre kell menni. Valószínűleg erre.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Ez mi?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Meghaltunk. Na most mi van már megint? Hallottam valami hangot. Most nem tudom, mi történik. Hát értem, hogy meghaltam, de ilyenkor általában újra szokott kezdődni. És most nincs itt semmi. És megint lefagyott? Lehet. Nem akarom. De hallok valami hangot. Vagy nem? Csak hülye vagyok? Lehet. Most kezdjük újra. Hát azt csinálom, sétálok. De nem történik semmi. Előbb, mintha hallottam volna valamit, de aztán rájöttem, hogy csak hülye vagyok. És kezdjem újra. Jó. Akkor újra kezdtem. Szerintem hagyjuk most itt abba.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
És majd máskor folytatjuk. Mert ilyen jó ez a játék, vagy mi? Hát majd játszunk valami mással. Majd később. Megint csak 3-an maradtunk.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent, and if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
Jó, akkor majd talán még este is csinálunk egy streamet, vagy csinálok. Mert most ennem kéne, meg ilyenek. Jó, de ez még nem biztos. Ja, talán. Na. Akkor sziasztok! Mert úgy látom megint 4-en lettünk.